Well, hey, you guys, it is Friday, and we've had a really good week learning how to make rotating shapes. Today's lesson number 5, is all about adding color. But I want to do a quick review. So we started off the week last Monday, 4 days ago, with just simple shapes, squares and triangles, and I showed you how to move that line over just a little tiny bit to create the illusion and the coolness of rotating shapes. So we started with simple shapes, then we learned how to connect those shapes and start filling in the spaces in between them, which led us to these really cool drawings where we filled in the space in between our shapes, which made brand new other shapes bigger than the sum of the parts, where the space in between became just as important as the squares and the triangles and the shapes that we were filling in. Again, I hope you've shown these to people and they're like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. And then they think it's like impossible to do. And in your mind, you're like, hee, this is actually really easy. So we went from here till finally yesterday, filling up entire sheets. And it did not take all that long. But again, we're not in a rush, we're not in a hurry, but now you guys know how to do this. So today we want to talk about adding some color. The first thing I want to mention to you guys is all you really need for this is crayons or colored pencils or whatever it is that you have that you want to add color with. I'm actually going to be adding a little bit of color using watercolors. We're gonna see how it goes. The paper that I have, some of it's a little bit thicker, but most of the paper we're all using is just regular printer paper, which might be too thin if we add watercolors to it, because the water will soak into that thinner paper. But we'll do a little experiment and see. Now, one trick I learned many years ago, which can be really cool and really mentally kind of give you a safety net. If you have a full page drawing that you have done with your Sharpie or pen or pencil and you love it, take it to your mom or your dad, ask them to put it on your printer, your copy machine in your house. Almost everybody has one nowadays, and you just put this on the printer, make 2 or 3 copies, and that way if you have an oops or something gets messed up, you're not like, oh no, that was my only one and it took me so long to do that. You'll have backup copies. And sometimes I'll even keep the original. This is my original drawing. Sometimes I'll keep the original black and white drawing, because let's face it, these look awesome in black and white. And I'll just set it to the side and I'll make copies, and then I'll add color to my copies. So just a suggestion, make a couple copies of your drawing before you get started. Ask your mom and dad, I'm sure they'll be happy to help you with that. Okay, so my original, yay, I love you, you're so cool. I'm gonna put it to the side. These are, actually I'm gonna put a piece of paper underneath here to make it easier coloring. So these are my copies, but my drawings. And from here, grab some crayons. I'm gonna just dump these out, put them by your side. And there's no right or wrong to do this. Remember when I taught you guys about color? Stay away from black, brown, and gray because they're kind of boring. You can go waxalicious, or you can go just regular kind of lighter color. Either way, totally up to you. Sometimes what I like to do is just choose like a theme, warm colors or cool colors, or maybe just pick out 3 or 4 colors that I like and just use those. Right now, I'm feeling some yellow. So I just grabbed my, what is this, my green yellow crayon. I'm gonna start with this shape right here. And I'm not gonna overthink it. Just gonna color this thing in. Nice light colors might look really nice on this. Cool. Well, I've got it out. Maybe I'll do a couple other shapes here and there. There we go. That's a pretty one over here. You guys can take as much time as you want to do this. There is no rush. There is no hurry. One of the things I love so much about doodling is that you don't have to finish. Finishing is not a goal. The goal is to enjoy the moment, enjoy that nick in time where you are right then and there, and don't be in a rush. I'm gonna go with some purple. Sure, I'm gonna go with some purple. Purple and yellow, if you look at a color wheel, are what's called complements. So they're kind of opposite sides. So when you put yellow and purple together, It typically will make the purple will make the yellow look more yellowish or stand out more, and the yellow makes the purple look more purpley. That's kind of cool. All right, come under here. Feel free to fast forward through this. I don't expect you to sit there and watch me color all this. That might become a little boring, and I don't want you to be bored. So feel free to press down that little fast forward key or on the bottom of the screen. You know how to do that. All right, I'm gonna make this one purple up here. I know what you're thinking. Hey, Mr. Steve, what would Waxalicious look like? Let's take a second. Oh yeah, remember Waxalicious is where you can press really hard and the color really just gets, I think, just as juicy as a marker. So that looks good. Yeah, definitely looks good. Any other places with some purple? Yeah. I'm gonna go third color, my all-time favorite color, which is turquoise, or in crayon world it's called blue-green. And I'm gonna just shoot right across here. You know what? I might just try to limit it to these 3 colors and see how that works out. And you notice I'm not, this is a good thing to suggest. If my lines are going this way, instead of coloring across them, I'm gonna color kind of the same direction that the lines are going. And hard to explain why, but it just looks better. Trust me on that. There we go. Everything doesn't have to be perfect or nice and neat. Gonna kick in. Ooh, what would that be right there? Oh, maybe I'm gonna hit a little strip of yellow right down the middle here, and then continue on with this turquoise. Coloring's just fun. Again, it's a time for you to turn your brain off a little bit. Instant gratification. You pick up a crayon, you rub it on the paper, the color goes on the paper, you see it immediately. And it's just kind of nice. I'm gonna go down over here. Whenever you're coloring, feel free to rotate your paper around to make it easier. And over here. This guide over here. And finally, what else do I want to do? I'm going to put the yellow back in. Oh, I'll continue my turquoise up in here. And some yellow. Okay. Now, do you guys remember what eye candy is? Remember when I was teaching all that at the beginning of the year? When you mix colors together and it just looks really, really good? I'm gonna add a little eye candy in here, just adding a little bit of yellow to this turquoise, and it's just gonna kick it up a little bit. I just think that's so pretty. A little bit over here. You don't need tons of it, but just something to make it look yummy. I think I need to go a little darker with my purple, or maybe a different shade of purple in here. Is that the same purple? Yeah, cool. All right, little eye candy, little stuff in there. All right, you guys, I could come out here and color the border if I wanted to, but I'm gonna leave it just like that. I think that's beautiful. You could totally put that on the fridge, put that in a frame. It looks fantastic. All right, let's try a little watercolor and see how if it works. I'm not gonna lie to you, with my thinner paper here, this might just be a train wreck. The paper just might melt underneath the water. If you're gonna do this though, you need some watercolor paints, and I'm gonna scoot my crayons to the side. You're going to need 2 cups. Coffee mugs are actually the best for this. I've got an old coffee mug and then just a glass, but coffee mug, you need 2 of them because one's gonna have cleaner water in it and the other one's gonna have like dirtier water in it once we get going. Just use water out of your sink, that's fine. I'm in my garage studio where there is no sink, so I'm gonna pour some water into both of my cups. maybe half full. See what I did there? Half full. That's just kind of the way I roll. All right. 2 cups of water. Got my watercolors. Almost all watercolor kits come with a cute little brush. Get my brush wet. And, oh, what are we gonna do here? Let's do reds and yellows on this one, see what happens. Take your brush, I'm gonna put a little water on top of my color, swirl it around a little bit, and a lot of people don't realize this, but most watercolor sets like this, on the lid, when you open it up, have little plastic divider lines. Do you hear that? You see that right there? That's because this becomes what's your palette, where you can mix colors or test colors out. All right, got a little bit there. All right, let's go right here. Whoosh. One of the nice things about watercolor is it's watercolor, so don't try to totally control it. Let it flow. I wouldn't want you to mix this up so it was really thick and dark. I want it to be light and airy and just flow off your brush. Right now, I'm kind of wishing I had a bigger brush, but this will totally work. Ooh, that's kind of nice too. So far, I'm doing okay as far as my paper goes. It's starting to buckle, which means like curve up a little bit right in here, but that's okay. Oh, one other thing you're gonna need to get is 3 or 4 paper towels. I got these from the kitchen before I came out to the studio. Just keep a paper towel or 2 to the side. Looking good. All right, we're gonna switch, go to yellow, we'll see how that works. Notice I'm rinsing out my brush and I'm using all of 1 mugs of water at the same time right now. Oh, another little trick. If your watercolors ever get gross on the top, just take a little piece of paper towel, tear it off, and kind of crumple it up a little bit, and just wipe the surface off. Come out of there, you. And normally it looks a lot cleaner than that, but there we go. That took some of the other color off. Get some water on your brush. Swirly in there a little bit, a couple times. You really want to mix it up, kid. Oh, look at that yellow coming out of there. That's looking nice. All right. Ooh, yeah. I don't know that you guys really need that much of a watercolor lesson from me, because I believe pretty much all of my classes have done watercolor with me before. Again, the trick is just to keep it light, airy, and if you can ever hear a scratchy sound with your brush, that means it's too dry. You need to get more water on your brush, so plenty of water. I'm gonna cruise up here. So at this point, I'm gonna kind of do what I did, I believe it was yesterday, where I just tried to hush up a little bit, and you guys can hit pause and go start adding color to your drawings, or you can sit right there and watch me paint. Either way. Where else can I add yellow? I'll put it in this corner down here. I can go right up the side of the page if I want. Yeah. More yellow up here. Not worrying about staying in the lines, just kind of going for it. This is fun. All right, more red. Oh, and I'll maybe get a little orange in there. So I'm gonna rinse out my brush, get some orange fired up, put on my little palette up here, mix a little orange, mix a little red, see what we get. Oh yeah, looks like fire. Cool. You notice I'm using plenty of water. And I'm not scrubbing the paper, I'm just letting my brush lightly rub across it, lightly touch. Don't scrub. Cool. Make this other one a little orangier. There's another thing you can do in your painting called wet on wet with watercolors, where you lay down a little layer of water first before you even add any color at all, and then put your water on your paper first, then you load up your brush, and then you just kind of flow the color from your brush into the water that's already there, and that looks really pretty too, but it makes it really flowy. I'm not doing that right now because I think that would soak into the paper and make it too weak. Don't worry if your colors bleed together a little bit, that's part of the fun. All right. Getting close, you guys. Going really dark red. Oh, let's go red, red, red. If your colors aren't dark enough or red enough on your brush, swirl it around in that cup a little bit more. Maybe mix it over in this top part where your palette is. Mix it up. Okay. All right, I'm almost done. Let's see, I'm gonna go straight up orange, super orange, right in here. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay. You can do little eye candy too, even with watercolors. Mixing a little bit, a few colors together a little bit to just kind of jazz it up some. All right. And I don't know if you guys saw in my sister Farmer Sue's videos, she did a really cool thing where she just took regular like markers, like Crayola markers that are water-based markers, colored in with the markers, and then went over it with a paintbrush, and the water in the paintbrush mixes with the ink from the pens, and it turns it into a watercolor drawing. But speaking of watercolor, guess what? I think this thing is done. If I wanted to, I could paint the frame in around here, but always rinse out your brush, all right? And to rinse that out, squeeze it out, put it back here. You don't have to do this, but it's a good idea. Dip your, I didn't even need my second cup of water, that was kind of nice. Take your paper towel, I'm gonna wipe the top out. Some people will leave those colors in there and let them dry, but if it's too wet when you close it, it drips into your other color. So I usually wipe it off, set this down. You guys, this is on a regular printer thinner piece of paper. It's a little bit thin, but it turned out okay. And I'm just gonna let this sit here and dry. Once it's totally dry, I would write my name on it, bottom right-hand corner. Remember, if you get too much water on your painting, I know you already know this, but you take a paper towel, you lay it on top, you press, you don't rub, you press, and that will soak up the extra water. Lift it up, I'm gonna flip it over, and that'll help this dry quicker. So yeah, that's how you tackle or handle too much water. Hey you guys, it has been a fantastic week. Thank you for all your hard work. Please send me in pictures of your rotation drawings. These look so good, and I'm so proud of you guys. And I just love this type of drawing. So the next time you're stuck somewhere or you're bored, you have no excuses. Get a piece of paper and either do a scribble vision drawing or do a rotating shape drawing. All right, you guys, thanks for watching and keep drawing. Bye.